another state of emergency. Chief Secretary cites administrative failure over missing Auditor General documents. TRHA welcomes new doctors and nurses, and TNT's crime detection rate plummets. Good evening, I'm Kristen Salandi. Welcome to the Tobago Updates television news for Friday, 18th of July, 2025. Now to our top story. A coordinated criminal network operating from within Trinidad and Tobago's prisons has prompted Police Commissioner Alistair Guevara to recommend a state of emergency. Intelligence confirms inmates are using smuggled phones to direct violent attacks on senior police, judiciary members, DPP staff, and prison officers. No curfew is planned, but a specialized threat response group has been activated. Authorities have begun relocating key inmates and executing targeted operations. Government leaders were briefed on July 17th as containment efforts intensified. AMPLIA Balgobin has the details.
In a media briefing held on Friday morning, Commissioner of Police Alistair Guevara noted that although no curfew is in place, law enforcement officers have been granted additional powers under the recommended state of emergency.
The additional powers of the police, as per all state of emergencies, can now enter the premises of persons without a search warrant. And that is one of the key things that we must take into consideration, in particular with this state of emergency and the reason why it was asked for. Curfew. I have decided that that is not an issue with regards. I want the good citizens of Trinidad and Tobago to continue to enjoy their lifestyle.
Commissioner Guevara noted that while he is not disclosing the number of prisoners who have been relocated to a no communication facility, he remains hopeful that law enforcement will successfully apprehend their external collaborators.
I will not be giving that information because I do not want to place any particular spotlight and give rise to any particular names being published that I do not want out into the public. We don't want to make these people famous enough.
The Trinidad and Tobago Police Service has emphasized its strong dedication to protecting the country's democratic systems and ensuring public safety. They stated that the enhanced security measures are essential to uphold order, strengthen trust in the national security apparatus, and maintain stability across the nation. Members of the public are urged to stay calm, cooperate with law enforcement, and report any unusual or suspicious behavior to the proper authorities. This is AMPLIA Balgobin reporting for Tobago Updates Television News.
Trinidad and Tobago is now under a state of emergency, but authorities are sending a clear message. This is not a lockdown. While the government has taken the serious step to counter a major national security threat, Police Commissioner Alistair Guevara has confirmed there will be no public curfew, stressing that the SOE's conditions are designed to target criminals, not hinder the lives of law-abiding citizens. Reporter Joel Green George has the details.
The critical change under the 2025 SEO is the expansion of law enforcement authority. The Trinidad and Tobago Police Service, with full support from the Defence Force, now possesses enhanced powers. The most significant of these is the ability to enter and search private property without a warrant, a condition officials say is vital for their targeted operation against a dangerous criminal syndicate.
The additional powers of the police, as per all state of emergencies, can now enter the premises of persons without a search warrant. And that is one of the key things that we must take into consideration, in particular with this state of emergency and the reason why it was asked for.
Despite the significant increase in police powers, Commissioner Guevara moved to reassure the public that the intent is not to disturb daily life or create a police state. He emphasized that social and business activities should continue as usual across the country.
I want the good citizens of Trinidad and Tobago to continue to enjoy their lifestyle without placing any undue sort of strain on them with regards to how they live and we love to party and we love to socialize and all of that.
The Commissioner stated the SEO is a proactive and intelligence-driven measure to dismantle an organized crime syndicate accused of plotting to cause chaos. He insisted that the targets are specific and known to law enforcement.
Persons who have to be concerned are the criminals, because this is what that particular SOE and the emergency powers geared to and aimed at targeting. So you, the good citizen, and all the good citizens that you know, Ms. Paul, have no reason to fear.
While acknowledging the potential for abuse of power, the Commissioner vowed to deal decisively with any officer who acts unprofessionally, citing established disciplinary procedures.
I want Trinidad and Tobago to feel safe. I don't want to presume that my officers will go out there and abuse the citizens. And if any reports of that come to my attention, I will treat with it.
The current state of emergency, therefore, presents a unique balance, a nation operating with its freedoms intact, while its security forces wield exceptional powers to conduct what they call a surgical strike against a specific threat. Jewel Green George for Tobago Updates Television News.
Former Commissioner of Police Gary Griffith has publicly criticized the recent decision by current Commissioner Alistair Govaro to declare a state of emergency, calling the move premature and counterproductive. According to Griffith, such a notice only serves to put criminal elements on high alert, giving them time to regroup, relocate, or conceal illegal operations.
As it pertains to classification of documents, there's confidential, there's restricted, there's secret, and there's top secret. This document falls in that category. And it means that by doing that, the public is not supposed to be aware, because if the public is aware, it means the criminals are also aware. It can also put undue panic in the public before a decision is made. This is stupidity at the highest level. Why would you, as the police service, the hierarchy, state to the public, we do not have the capability to secure you, so we want the government to call a state of emergency with.
Griffith noted that the TTPS statement mirrors a special branch report. He said a localized threat doesn't justify a national state of emergency and urged targeted operations instead of broad, unnecessary national measures.
What should have happened is if the government themselves say, look, son, we think that this is enough, we want to call a state of emergency. Commissioner, what do you think? And the commissioner will send correspondence to agree. That must all be done in a degree of confidentiality of documentation until the decision is made to call a state of emergency or not.
We'll take a break and come back with more. Stay tuned.
Welcome to Tobago Glass Supplies Limited, where innovation meets excellence and service reigns supreme. Our commitment is simple: to provide high-quality, innovative aluminum, vinyl, and glass solutions for both commercial and residential spaces. At TGSL, we don't just meet needs, we exceed expectations. Our range includes the finest aluminum cladding options, setting new standards in durability and style. Driven by our passion to elevate, we aim to be the leading supplier in the Caribbean market while retaining our identity as a family-owned business. Because at Tobago Glass Supplies Limited, it's not just about products. It's about relationships, it's about you. Innovation, quality, service. That's Tobago Glass Supplies Limited.
My name is Tina Macmillan, your last year's third place winner and the Miss Photogenic for last year's Miss Heritage Personality Show. And this year, I want to carry you with me for my Tobago Heritage experience. I'll be hosting with Tobago Updates, bringing you live coverage behind the scenes and also their giveaways, tickets to the heritage events, and a 2-night stay to the Mandalina Grand. So you need to stay locked on to Tobago Updates on all their social media platforms, Kina Macmillan on Facebook, and originalmedusa.tt on TikTok. My Tobago Heritage experience with Tobago Updates. Stay tuned.
Do something and roll back, come let me reel. I make a brush back. Do something and roll back, come let me reel. I make a brush back. Do something and do something.
Here goes. goals, we've got them. At S&R Hair Fantasy, we provide a wide variety of quality hair, the latest hair accessories, adult toys, skin lightening products, female underwear, and much more under one roof. Check us out on Shelbourne Street in Plymouth or call us at 317-0808. We're open Monday through Saturday, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. S&R Hair Fantasy for queens who know exactly what they want.
TNTech is pleased to advise that its Roxborough Service Center has reopened. Starting Monday, 10th March, customers can once more visit the Roxborough Administrative Building to pay TNTech bills, request new connections, and more. TNTech, powering the nation into the next generation.
Hello, New York! Are you ready to celebrate the essence of Crusoe Land and the culture of Tobago? Well, get ready for Tobago Day in New York City, hosted by the Tobago Empowerment and Alliance Mission, Sunday, August 17, 2025, Nazareth High School Courtyard, 475 East 57th Street, Brooklyn, New York, 12 noon to 8 p.m. We bring the Tobago vibes to the Big Apple. Live music, Tobago food, cultural performances, and family fun. So bring Tanty, Granny, the uncle, invite the whole neighborhood. Just bring everybody and bring your significant other too. Come celebrate Tobago Day in New York City, Sunday, August 17th, Nazareth High School Courtyard. But hey, I forget to tell all you, it's we 10th anniversary celebration. For more information, call 929-327-7857 or check Team's Facebook and Instagram pages, Team Tobago Day.
Thanks for staying with us. In just 8 months, Trinidad and Tobago has entered another state of emergency, with the government citing increased gang activity and serious threats to senior officials and national institutions. In a live video response, THA Chief Secretary Fali Augustine expressed concern over the country facing yet another SOE within such a short span. He reaffirmed his stance, stating it remains unchanged from when the previous government implemented a similar measure on December 30th, 2024. A state of emergency is now in effect for Trinidad and Tobago, but the move is drawing sharp criticism from the sister isle. Tobago's minority leader Kelvin Morris today called the declaration a dagger in the heart of Tobago's already fragile tourism industry. The emergency was called in response to what police described as a coordinated and highly dangerous criminal network planning attacks on officials. President Christine Kangaloo made the official proclamation, citing a threat to public safety. However, Morris argues that since the threat is based in Trinidad, Tobago is being made collateral damage. He is demanding to know how the government will support Tobago's economy and is questioning the silence of the island's chief secretary on the matter, calling it deafening and staggering hypocrisy. In some other news now, Chief Secretary Fali Augustine has acknowledged that the Tobago House of Assembly did possess the necessary documents to account for money spent on overseas travel. However, he said those records were never submitted to the Auditor General due to what he described as a simple administrative failure. The Auditor General's 2024 report raised concerns over $6.8 million in overseas travel expenses that could not be verified, noting that while payments were made through the automated clearinghouse, there were no accompanying documents to confirm who traveled, their destinations, or the associated costs. According to Augustine, the documentation exists within the THA's system, but was not forwarded in time for audit review. He said efforts are now underway to ensure proper administrative processes are followed moving forward. Alia Balgobin has the details.
Chief Secretary Fali Augustine noted that the administrative oversight could have been easily corrected with a simple letter.
I can't understand at this juncture why those transactions, why those documents were not printed and simply given to the Auditor General. I saw the report only when it was laid in Parliament. I did not get the benefit of seeing a management letter. Had I received a management letter, I would have certainly instructed that the relevant documents be printed and given to the Auditor General.
He said there is no justifiable reason for the documents not being submitted.
And there is no way, no reason why those documents weren't provided to verify the ACH transactions. With regard to overseas travel, the Tobago House of Assembly has in fact adopted the circular from the ministry in terms of overseas travel, and we followed those circulars to a T.
An investigation has been launched into the matter, focusing on the Division of Tourism, along with plans to provide additional training for public servants on how to properly follow and act on the necessary curriculums to ensure no future mishaps. This is AMPLIA Balgobin reporting for Tobago Updates Television News.
The Tobago Regional Health Authority hosted a special welcome ceremony for its newest medical professionals, introducing them to the organization's mission and formally integrated them into the healthcare system. AMPLIA Balgobin has the details.
General Manager of Patient Care Services, Michelle Edwards Benjamin, called for a moment of silence in honor of a TRHA staff member who sadly passed away on Monday, marking the third such loss for the year so far. While welcoming the incoming team of healthcare professionals, she acknowledged the emotional weight of the moment and reminded them of the high expectations placed on nurses and medical staff.
Being a professional nurse also brings expectations that are beyond the bedside. It requires a clear and visible standard of deportment. How you carry yourself, how you communicate, and how you uphold the dignity of those that you serve.
CEO of the Tobago Regional Health Authority, Dr. Delmon Baker, emphasized that the healthcare sector is a serious business, a field of immense responsibility and sacrifice, where people's lives are constantly on the line.
This is serious business. Caregiving is sacrifice. It is understanding that the person that comes in the door is in a part of their life where they're either depressed, distressed, or in serious pain, and you are the single person that they are relying on to save them, to heal them, or to help them get onto that person who will take care of their needs.
Secretary of Health, Wellness and Social Protection, Faith Brebner, expressed joy at the arrival of the new staff, noting her excitement even though this cohort includes more nurses than doctors.
First of all, your arrival means that you are going to bring relief to the current staff. Yeah, they have been stretched thin. We hear the concerns about burnout. We know that they carry a weight that is really, really heavy. So when you walk through these doors, after you go back to your car having listened to Nurse Benjamin and you decide you're coming back tomorrow,
Brebner said that the new TRHA staff bring in more than numbers. They bring hope and energy to the health sector. She encouraged others to join the TRHA family, calling it a place for those ready to serve with compassion and commitment. This is AMPLIA Balgobin reporting for Tobago Updates Television News.
You're watching the Tobago Updates Television News. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube at Tobago Updates. More news after this.
The Tobago Heritage Festival 2025. This week has the highly anticipated Folk Fiesta on Tuesday, July 15th at the Shore Park Complex from 3 p.m. We Tambrin Story 2, July 16th at the Hope Community Center. Youth Quake, July 17th at at the Shore Park Complex. Courtship Codes, July 18th at the Golden Lane Government Primary School. Tobago Old Time Wedding in Mariah, July 19th. And then we head to Mason Hall on Sunday, July 20th for the games we used to play.
Courts is well known as the Caribbean's largest retailer, providing consumers for generations with the very best products to enhance their homes. This year, we bring our expertise to businesses. Courts Business Solutions will serve small, medium, and large companies with the very best products at the most competitive prices, backed by warranties and after-sales support. Hoteliers, office managers, restaurants, and so many more. Courts Business Solutions, a brand of the Unicomer Group.
Are you in a dispute with a registered investment service provider of the TTSEC? Or maybe you're the victim of an investment scam? You can lodge a complaint or submit an anonymous tip to the Trinidad and Tobago Securities and Exchange Commission. Download our Investor Protection app or go to ttsec.org.tt to access our complaint form or submit an anonymous tip. Write a clear summary of your complaint. Submit copies of supporting documents along with the originals for verification. Provide a copy of the feedback received from the entity regarding your complaint. All investor complaints or scam reports submitted by the public are acknowledged and reviewed by the TTSEC. Investigations are pursued based on the outcome of the review. Trinidad and Tobago Securities and Exchange Commission, protecting the interests of investors and the public. You invest, we protect. Everyone benefits.
I see girls, I see fun, I see winding up in the sun, I see 10 bottle of rum, DJ start the thing, let me jump. Cause I see girls, I see fun, I see winding up in the sun, I see 10 girls to a man, DJ start the thing, let me ram my shit. When my team touch down, everything get wild. Hey, 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 take out your flag and fling it up, take out something and fling it up, fling it up, fling it up high. Something and fling it up.
So guys, there are some new developments in housing in Tobago. So it's goat racing time. This is 116, the show that keeps you in the know with all things Tobago House of Assembly. Each week, 116 delivers a fun and engaging overview of the latest developments, achievements, activities, and events of our dynamic assembly. So join me. Let's dive into the Tobago House of Assembly's Week in Review right here on 116.
Coconut's Cafe, the buffet restaurant that specializes in all your tasty local dishes. For breakfast and for lunch. Breakfast includes coconut bake and sada roti, served with chokers, bull joil, and sausages in tomato sauce. Not forgetting beef and cheese pies, shepherd's pie, macaroni pie, and rice in various styles. Meat served in a variety of flavors, garden salads, and pasta salads. All this accompanied by fruit juices, coconut water, your choice of a great combination to appease your taste buds. So call us today to order, as we are here to accommodate your busy schedules or if you are having a cooking day off.
This is how it's gonna go. They better look up and look, cause this is your show, and everybody's gonna know. Say it to them once again. They better look up and look. This is your show,
This is your show.
Want to get better? Where to start? What kind of exercise to do? What to eat? How to get restful sleep? Need a doctor to search for root cause? Look no further. Come to Majuba Hill Lifestyle Center Foundation at our Wellness Center in Goodwood, or Food Hub in Darrow Springs, Scarborough, or Doctor's Office in Goodwood and Darrow Spring. Contact 49 Swift 4979 438.
Welcome back. In Trinidad and Tobago, where violent crime continues to surge, a startling admission from the government has put the nation's entire justice system under the microscope. With a crime detection rate now below 10%, there are growing fears that the country is losing its ability to bring criminals to justice. Here's more from reporter Jewel Green George.
For every 10 serious crimes committed in this nation, 9 perpetrators go unpunished. That's the grim reality behind the country's shockingly low crime detection rate, a figure that came into sharp focus during a government press briefing. With a homicide rate that ranks among the highest in the world, the inability of the police to solve crimes is a crisis. When questioned directly on this point, the government acknowledged the systemic failure.
One of the major issues impacting the police service as well as national security as a whole is the very low detection rate, under 10% perhaps, the even lower gathering of prosecutable evidence, and even lower actual prosecution of matters and so on. What is the government doing to assist the police?
In response, the government outlined a plan focused on modernizing its crime-fighting toolkit, pointing to long-promised legislative and technological upgrades as the solution.
It's about bringing bills before the parliament. It's about bringing technology to law enforcement. It's about bringing legislation such as the DNA legislation more effective and more impactful.
But for a population wary of promises, the key question remains: when will these changes actually happen? The government's response offered little in way of a firm timeline, highlighting the long road ahead.
We have a time frame. Can you give something more definitive as to the DNA when we will have some actual improvement in that with the ballistic setup? So what you say, the forensic setup, but using the further technologies that you spoke about that. So
the exchange underscores a deep-seated frustration here. While officials talk of future solutions, the immediate reality is a justice system struggling to keep pace, leaving citizens feeling increasingly vulnerable in a country where accountability for crime is becoming the exception, not the rule. Jewel Green George for Tobago Updates Television News.
In Trinidad and Tobago, a nation grappling with one of the highest murder rates in its history, the government is floating a controversial plan to boost police numbers, waiving mandatory academic qualifications for new recruits. The move has sparked a fierce debate over whether the country is prioritizing quantity over quality in its desperate fight against crime. Reporter Jewel Green has the details.
The government is moving to absorb 800 special reserve police officers into the regular police force to address a critical shortfall of over 1,000 officers. But it's the proposal to lower the academic bar for entry, currently 5 secondary school passes, including English and Maths, that's raising alarms. Critics question if officers without these foundational skills can effectively write reports, gather evidence, and testify in court, potentially weakening the justice system when it's most needed. The country recorded over 600 murders in 2022, a record high, and the crime wave has continued. Homeland Security Minister MP for Tunapuna, Roger Alexander, a former senior police officer himself, says the move is a pragmatic solution to a numbers crisis.
This waiver of mandatory academic and required entry into the TTPS is to facilitate over the shortfall of over 1,154 vacancies that presently exist.
But when pressed on whether this would compromise the quality of policing, the minister defended the on-the-job experience of the officers being absorbed.
Remember, these officers are already on the job. It's not to say like we're recruiting persons from the street. They have been performing duties all over Trinidad and Tobago, protecting your life, protecting my life.
Still, the government is leaving key questions unanswered, deferring specifics to the new regulations. This has created uncertainty about the future standards of the police service.
Well, as I said before, we want to treat with the regulations thereafter. So, you asking me that, I will say again, we will treat with the regulations thereafter.
As the government pushes to deploy more personnel, many in Trinidad and Tobago are left wondering if the solution to the manpower crisis could create a new crisis in competency. Jewel Green George for Tobago Updates Television News.
Michelle Benjamin, Minister of Culture and Community Development, has issued a strong statement in response to recent comments made by Marvin Gonzalez, chairman of the People's National Movement. Gonzalez had remarked, quote, "When I look at it, I wonder if we are living in Bangladesh or Delhi," end quote, drawing significant concern and prompting the minister's swift response. In a press release dated July 17, 2025, Minister Benjamin underscored the government's commitment to fostering national unity and rejected any sentiments that could be perceived as divisive. She affirmed that Trinidad and Tobago is a nation built on a rich tapestry of diverse cultures, emphasizing that its strength lies precisely in this multicultural heritage. The minister further elaborated on the government's mandate to preserve and to celebrate the unique identities and contributions of all cultural groups within Trinidad and Tobago. She called upon all citizens to honor each other's heritage and work together, declaring that racism cloaked in whatever form must be called out and dismissed. The weekend weather report is up next.
The Tobago Heritage Festival 2025. This week has the highly anticipated Folk Fiesta on Tuesday, July 15th at the Shore Park Complex from 3 p.m. We Tambourine Story 2, July 16th at the Hope Community Center. Youth Quake, July 17th at the Shore Park Complex. Courtship Codes, July 18th at the Golden Lane Government Primary School. Tobago Old Time Wedding in Mariah, July 19th. And then we head to Mason Hall on Sunday, July 20th for the games we used to play.
This is what the TNT Met Office says you can expect from the weather. Tonight, initially fair, becoming partly cloudy with few showers and a medium chance of isolated thunderstorm activity near midnight. Tomorrow, partly cloudy conditions with light to moderate showers. There is also a medium chance of isolated thunderstorm activity. Mostly fair night despite the lingering shower. Gusty winds and street flooding are possible in areas with heavy downpours. Saharan dust is present in the atmosphere. Sensitive persons should take the necessary precautions. On Sunday, partly cloudy to cloudy morning with intermittent showers and the low to medium chance of a heavier shower or thunderstorm. Fair and breezy conditions as the day progresses. And that's how we end this evening's newscast. Here's a recap of the headlines. Trinidad and Tobago under another SOE. Chief Secretary cites administrative failure over missing Auditor General documents. TRHA welcomes new doctors and nurses, and TNT's crime detection rate plummets. I'm Kristen Salandi. Thank you so much for joining us, and have a great night and a safe weekend.